Okay, Crown Jewel was weird because it was more than 5 matches, which kind of threw me off for a little bit. So we'll try to go through these pretty quick. Bloodline versus Bloodline. I love the storytelling that they had with Jimmy, Jay, and Roman not getting along. Liked it, thought it was good, because you know this is going to keep on going. It's not going to do a one and done out in Riyadh. So of course Roman loses, which is weird. He doesn't get pinned very often. Gets pinned by Solo, which again, great for the storyline. And then you have the 4-on-3 beatdown, and then Sammy runs down because they flew Sammy halfway around the world to do a rundown. So then it's like, 4 guys and 4 guys. Well, maybe there's an event coming up that has a 4-on-4 match, maybe in a cage, maybe in a really big cage because it's 8 guys. Maybe it's taking place in Canada, and they might need a Canadian. I'm just throwing it out there. I like that during the post-match beatdown where they had Solo surrounded, there was the haluva kick, accidentally hit Roman, so then you've got main event and Jay and Sammy on one side, and then you've got Jimmy and Roman on the other. I'm like, okay, cool. If they can keep the we're not getting along going for the next couple of weeks, then have them coalesce at the very end in a War Games match, which is what happened last time when Sammy and the Bloodline were together. Cool. I can go with that. But solid opener. Then we go into the Fatal 4 Women's tag match. It's weird now that they have to do the Chelsea Green thing in with her theme song instead of her being announced that way because Samantha Urban left. Great match. If you watched the Fatal 4-Way on SmackDown last night, this was a nice precursor to that. We had Damage Control, which is weird that they're faces, but crowd gets into them. High flying moves make sense. Metaphor, I think those two are going to do amazing. It's really sad that Noam Dar is hurt. I think Noam Dar and Oro Mensah, all 4 of them on the main show, could be really interesting. And then you also had, I just mentioned Piper and Evan, and then you had champions, Jade and Bianca. Great match. Love the back and forth, love the tag team moves, which you don't see very often in the women's division because normally it's so-and-so and so-and-so. But now they're actually wearing matching outfits. They're actually doing cohesive moves together. Finishing with a Doomsday device on Piper and Evan. Beautiful. Crowd got into it, which is kind of a rarity for the Saudi Arabia shows, but 2 matches down, really solid. I'm like, here we go. This is good. Then we go into... I got to look at my notes. Okay, now we're into Seth Bronson Reed. Again, I thought this was a 5-card match, but I got kind of thrown out there. Loved the aspect of this. Super fast, high impact. Liked it. Thought it was great. Seeing Seth get thrown into that office chair early on in the match, and I'm like, oh, that's a wicked set of bruising and scratches and scars. That's gonna be rough for that flight home. But I like seeing a tsunami. I go for another one. Oh, messed up. Stomp. Go for another one. Nope. Super stomp on the outside, where Bronson split above his eye open a little bit. Didn't work. Top rope stomp. 3 count. I'm like, then Bronson's getting up. I'm like, that's what you need. If you want to build up a big monster, have him take a tremendous amount of beating, then just have him get back up and be like, oh, this isn't done. This isn't done. I want more. Like, yes. Yes, I want these guys to fight more. Yes. I am fine with this. This is when Seth works his best. Against a smaller guy, he can do a great match. Against a bigger guy, he can take it to a whole nother level. Especially a guy who's big and athletic. Great match. Loved it. Then we followed David and Goliath with David and Goliath, as it's Liv, Nia Jax. Fine match. It's one of those things where with Rhea being injured, I'm more concerned about what happens after this, what Liv does, because now she's really missing that main person who's going after her. So, of course, Raquel Rodriguez gets involved. Tiffany tries to do a cash-in, which leads to Nia Jax getting distracted. Dom comes down, and then, you get Liv ends up getting the victory. Okay. Having Liv hold that title, even though now it's just going to be a really fancy ring, is good. She can use it to get a lot more heat to herself. I'm the first ever, women's crown jewel champion. Cool. Use it. Get your heat. Run with it. Fine with it. Then we go into KO versus RKO, which doesn't even start. It's just a mad brawl. Walking brawl, smashing stuff, wrecking officials. And I was like, you know what? This is good. You got your singles matches. You got a Fatal 4. We got a triple threat coming up. You do this as a brawl. Good. Spices the show up. I'm like, yeah, this this event is flying for the most part. Then triple threat. I like when a face is a special referee, screws over two guys, and then it's like, well, it's a triple threat now. It's a trope. It has to happen. You don't have a number one contender. So instead, you have two. Crowd's super hot for LA Knight. Andrade makes this look so effortless. But what is up with this Titantron? Dude like staring at his hands, making a glow, then like rubbing his face. No idea what that is supposed to mean. But great back and forth. Love the double pins. Love that finish. We'll think it was like a double BFT. LA Knight gets the victory. I'm like, cool. And you know what? Andrade and Carmelo have had some fantastic matches. I'm cool with those two in any sort of match. Throw LA Knight in there, and either of those two of those three guys can put on a fantastic match. Keep it nice and fresh. LA Knight retained. Cool. Now we're going into our main event. Cody Rhodes, Gunther. Gunther has flat out said, I'm going for the sleeper. I'm making you go to sleep. Love it. Super clean, super efficient. Cody's like, I'm going to beat you. Love the back and forth. I like how Cody gets his fire up spots, and then Gunther has a shutdown. Then gets the heat. Comeback spot, crowd going with it the whole time. Beautiful. It's what you want. You want the crowd to be super invested in the match. Finish comes down to a super Cody cutter, reversed into a sleeper, reversed into a pin. And I was like, that reminded me, I'm like, wow, that's the exact same way that Bret Hart beat Roddy Piper. And within moments, Corey Graves was like, oh, it's a callback to when Bret Hart beat Roddy Piper because Gunther made fun of Bret Hart. And I was like, okay. I know that I've watched wrestling for a long time, and I know H is also a student of professional wrestling. But the fact that my first thought was, that's a callback to this. And then Corey Graves is like, this is a callback to this. And I was like, they're making it all make sense. It's like, there's a logic to it. I don't see the logic. Then they kind of go, well, it starts here. And you go, So, a good premium live event. It's weird to say that. It's weird to have it not be a 5-match card. But overall, it was solid. I enjoyed it.